It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, WUFO Bills reporter Muki Hawkins. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin, getting set to talk about another very disappointing loss Monday night when the Bills took on the Broncos. We will do that, plus the round table. We'll talk, of course, about the Jet game as well, and a very special local guest who not only is a radio host and covers the Bills, but also doubles as a high school football coach as well. That's all coming up. First, though, let's go around the water cooler. All right, so I don't even know where to start. It's just so frustrating. Obviously, the big news of the week, Ken Dorsey getting let go. And, I mean, obviously, there's been a ton of noise from the fan base, more than anybody, about the Bills' offense and its inability to score and why and all of that. And, of course, the players have a lot to do with that. Scheme, everything else. You know, Ken Dorsey had 9 games to coach an offense.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't going like it should have. But guess what? The players, especially the quarterback at times, hasn't been playing like he should have either.
No, he's making rookie mistakes. We got fumbles by James Cook. We got fumbles by Josh Allen on the exchange. We have turnovers on downs. That's not Ken Dorsey calling a turnover play. I don't think he ever does that. So in my opinion, I didn't love the play calling by Ken Dorsey either, but I think with good execution, this team could have made him look a little better.
I would agree with you. And again, he didn't drop the ball like Kincaid and Davis, didn't fumble like Cook, didn't throw bad interceptions.
Yeah.
And granted, the one interception off Davis's hands, not Josh's fault, but still, the other interception to Surtain was brutal. And Josh just doesn't, I don't know, you know, you talk about sports psychologists all the time, but I feel like he is in a funk that they got to get him out of, and I don't know if they even have the answer of how to do that.
Yeah, it looks so much different right now. It's when Josh starts to do the pump fake and he doesn't know where he's going, I can tell he doesn't know what he's seeing. So he's got to get back to that confident level of play, and I think maybe getting a little switch up in the offensive coordinator, just getting things going, maybe that could be the answer, but it's already week 10. At this point, the team is what they are, and we have to start executing, and I really don't know the answer to Josh because, you know, he goes 2020 and 2021, he becomes this absolute stud. Last year, for most of the season, he's some absolute stud, and this year it seems like he's going back to a lot of the old mistakes he used to make in his rookie season.
And don't get us wrong, he's had moments of greatness for sure. Had some moments of greatness in the game against Denver, but it's just not been a consistent effort from your Pro Bowl quarterback, and you're you know, arguably he was at least going into the season top 3 quarterback in the league, and he has not played that way overall. Let's talk a little bit too about the head coach. You know, obviously the last play of the game is a giant mark on this team and on the head coach. You can argue all over the place as to what maybe should have happened on that last play.
Right.
But think about this too. Just in the last 2 years, 3 coordinators are not on this team that had been. Isn't that something somebody should be reading into in terms of what's going on inside those walls?
And I think he is on the hot seat a little bit. In my opinion, Sean McDermott came and he's a very smart, he's an intelligent coach. I don't think his messaging changes from year to year. I think you see it a lot in this league where teams will be good when that coach's message is starting to hit, and then it gets a little bit stale, and by the end, things start to go down. And I kind of see that happening right now with Sean McDermott.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Cook fumbles, gets benched, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous for the length of time he was benched for.
I also think they used to do that to Isaiah McKenzie a lot too when he was here, and it's like these guys actually are fast and making plays. A fumble is not the end of the world when your quarterback throws it to the other team every game.
Absolutely, and Cook comes back in, he's fired up and really lights a fire underneath the offense. They ran well, Murray ran well. I mean, there were times in that game I thought the offense looked great. Tempo was really good. Play calling in terms of the touchdown, the Josh touchdown run was beautiful. Kincaid's touchdown was absolutely beautiful. Well drawn up, well executed, as you mentioned. So there were glimpses of greatness in the offense, but let's flip it over now to the defense. and the third time was not a charm, unfortunately, for Taron Johnson. Of course, it's a 3rd and 10. The Bills blitz, they get burned.
Yeah, and I don't know why we're going all out blitz there when it's 3rd and long either. And we keep putting Taron Johnson on this island, and he keeps either getting a pass interference or getting beat. And as much as I love him as a slot corner, why is he the one covering the biggest guys on the other team on the most important plays of the game? This is another game where no matter that the defense let that go at the end of the game, I'm not going to put the blame on them. This offense has to score. They got to score more than 22 points. When you have that many possessions and you're moving the ball that well, you just cannot make these crucial errors. And our defense is decimated, but our offense is not. And that is the problem. That's why you're seeing a change in offensive coordinator, because it's so easy to blame a coach when things are going this way. But really what needs to happen for this team is kind of a wake-up call, and they need to get something going in a game where it's a consistent drive over and over. It's one of those games like the Raiders game or the Dolphins game where every single drive we are a threat to score, because it just doesn't feel like that right now.
Yeah, not at all. And I think we're going to hear from Muki Hawkins in a little bit. You know, we were talking a little bit off camera, and he talked a little bit about the predictability of the offense, and I think we've seen that throughout the year. And again, probably another reason why Ken Dorsey is out and Joe Brady is in. All right, so Muki Hawkins will join us coming up next. We'll talk about the Jets game. Stay right here. This is the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as one visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associates Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler with the reemergence of my man Muki Hawkins back on the show. Great to see you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me once again.
Of course. Well, there's a lot to talk about. So last time you were here, we enjoyed what you did. We enjoy what you do all the time wherever you are, because you are all over the place. But I had the chance to do a little play-by-play for a high school that you're involved with that ended up winning the Section 6 Class B title in health sciences, and I had no idea. I'm just watching you on the other side of the field. Look, oh, hey, that's Muki. I had no idea you were part of that program, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about that and how you work into that.
Well, I've been coaching Little League in high school for over 30 years. You know, it all started at the old Rock Power coaching the Fruit Belt Rockets, where Corey Graham won me my first championship. We all know who Corey Graham is. Played with the Bills. He played with Philly, got 2 Super Bowls, drafted by Chicago. I coached Steve Means on those Little League teams as well. So we coached a handful of those guys. I coached at Riverside, and you know, as of late, I've been at Health Science for the past 4 years. We were in A last year, but A was a little bit tough for us, so they blessed us with putting us back down in B. And you know, the past 4 or 5 years, we've been pretty dominant in that class. So, yeah, the guys play quite well, but job is not done. We got FiOS regionals at Will South this Saturday.
And who are you guys playing?
We're playing Monroe. Now, Monroe was a pesky team. They only gave up 6 points week 1. All right, is an explosive team, kind of remind us of ourselves. So we're definitely going to have our hands full this weekend.
We're going to talk a lot about the Bills. And very quickly, before we go into our segment, when we get all the Mafia around the round table here, let me ask you, because you were at the game on Monday night, what do you make, first of all, not necessarily of the game, but of course the news that came out on Tuesday after the brutal loss and the way it happened with the Ken Dorsey firing? What do you make of that?
The writing was on the wall. You know, kind of. I mean, for some strange reason, you know, Coach McDermott said it. You know, it just lacked energy. There wasn't really no injuries. Like, guys weren't really putting a real effort into, what was being called out there. Because you hear it all the time, and guys always talking about executing, getting better, executing. Even though us as Bills fans, we need a little bit more than just executing and stuff like that. So that kind of stayed the same. And guess what? The play calling and what you saw on the week-to-week offensively kind of stayed the same, to the point where this team was in dogfights with teams that they shouldn't have been. You should not be in dogfights with a mediocre, a bad New England Patriots team. You should not be in a dogfight with a bad New York Giants team. You not should be in dogfight with a bad Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I mean, we understand the injuries on defense, being banged up and stuff like that, but there's no injuries on our offensive side. You have an offensive line that's much better than last year's offensive line. Your running back room is better than last year's running back. Your wide receiver room is better than last year's room. You have a stud in Dalton Kincaid as your top pick. So this offense overall is better. Josh Allen, his numbers are better, but you're not scoring any points. You're not scheming things up. So the inexperience of the offensive coordinator showed, and that's why the news came out today that
it wasn't surprising to you.
It wasn't surprising.
And I know, look, the fan base was calling for it for the last probably 6 to 7 weeks because of the lack of offensive output. But I will say this, and let's be honest, the game is won if it's not for that last 12 men on the field play, which is completely it's inexcusable. It's absolutely inexcusable. To your point, Muki, and I'm going to talk about this later in the show, but they had no time to get somebody out there to count. Because when they did count, if they did count, there's no time to get that 12th man off the field. The flag is still getting thrown, right? And I maintain, look, in that game on Monday night, I thought the play call on Josh's touchdown run was brilliant and gorgeous. I thought the play call on the Kincaid touchdown was brilliant and gorgeous. He was wide open. I thought the run game, when Cook got put back in the game, was excellent. There were a lot of things that were good. And Ken Dorsey didn't drop balls, didn't fumble, and didn't throw picks. So in his defense, at least for another week, I think maybe this is the wrong time to do it.
I don't know. I think you cannot go into this Jets game with that same look. The wrong play calls is allowing Josh to make these bad decisions. Dable, did an excellent thing with that, protecting Josh from himself. He did a great job of doing that. Dorsey failed doing that, and that's where you see the regressions in Josh. You don't see no energy in this offense, and Stephon Diggs said it before the season started, and everybody wanted him gone. Now what?
Ooh, that's a good tease to the round table, which comes up next, right here on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We are joined by Muki Hawkins once again. Dr. Jared, Coach Bob's back again. Welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're almost at watch time. You're here and so many times we have to give you something.
Yeah,
because you're here, right?
Yeah, it's. I'm waiting. Hopefully, Mark can come up with something.
Right there you go. All right, let's talk about. And we heard from Muki a little bit from myself in terms of the Dorsey firing. This is mid-season, guys. But and what do you think?
Head coach under a lot of pressure himself. He's been feeling it. Those drives, the Jets, New England, last night they gave up they were ahead in all those games. And they kind of choked it up at the end of those games. They should have won all of them. It's on McDermott. He's feeling pressure. He looks around and says, I can't fire. They have no defensive assistant. So I got to look around and get the pulse and say, okay, must be Dorsey. I agree with you. The offense does not play with urgency, and it just doesn't look like they're buying in.
Yeah, well, can Joe Brady be that guy to do it? Who knows? He's the guy that sits next to Josh. He's the guy that's been Josh's sort of confidant.
Right.
You know, we were talking about Davis Webb a second ago off camera, Mookie. That's what Joe Brady has been. So now, okay, so Joe Brady was good cop. Now he's going to have to be bad cop all of a sudden?
Yeah, no, I don't think that just switching this offensive coordinator will take care of what's kind of the real problem, which to me is the core of the locker room. I think there's an issue this year with the locker room where there's no buy-in. I don't think they're hearing what the coach is saying anymore. And I think there's a much bigger issue than just the play calling, even though I do think that is an issue. I think they're pretty uncreative, but I mean, Josh was in there and turning the ball over yesterday. 2 of those are on him. 5 out of the 9 drives yesterday by the end were turnovers or turnovers on downs. I mean, that comes down to execution. This isn't all based on just one coach.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, think about this, Mookie. I mean, we saw the game, obviously. Cook with the fumble on the very first play of the game. The next series, Josh is nearly picked off by Singleton, who gets 1 foot in and jumps a route. And later in the game, Surtain jumps a route. And we've seen that time in and time out this year with Josh.
Absolutely. I mean, when you those type of mistakes you make as a rookie, that's what I mean by you see the regressions in Josh, because both passes were where? Deep to the outside. So that's just film study. You know, they know Josh is not going to check it down. He's not going to throw short. It's either an out or it's vertical. Teams know that. That's why teams are jumping those plays. And then the personnel. On the one interception, you got Deontay Hardy. Why is he running that post corner route right there? You know, it should be a taller guy that has a little bit more say on the 50-50 ball at that point, right? It's those personnel issues that I have with Dorsey. You have 12 personnel. You have 2 tight ends, actually 3, and a fullback in Reggie Gilliam. Why is Gabe Davis playing tight end in certain situations on I guess split zone or whatever the case may be? Why is he elected to block 280-pound defensive ends? We know he's not going to win that matchup. So those were the head scratchers in reference to, you know, my concerns with Dorsey, and it just led to, you know, a domino effect of everything offensively not being right, and the team is not buying into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny. I mean, James Cook, when he comes back into the game, and I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was very childish of the coaching staff to keep him on the bench as long as they did. I mean, you know what they say. Get the guy right back in the game and give him the ball automatically to let him redeem himself. And they waited almost a quarter to get him back into that football game, which for me was ridiculous, because you saw when they put him back in the game, he was incredibly explosive, Coach.
Yeah, you got to get another touch right away.
Yeah.
I can see it a play or 2, but get him back in. Whatever happened, he ran as hard as he has in 2 seasons last night. And Murray, I thought, ran extremely hard. Love Murray, smart guy. He's good. He can see things because he's been around. But Cook ran hard, and he hit the hole the way you're supposed to. 1 cut, and he was off. That's his game. 1 cut, go. And he was doing that. He saw the field, I thought, great. And, yeah, Davis. They brought Davis in. They checked him in inside the tight end to block.
Yeah, well, then this is their, you know, substitute tight end, 76 reporting eligible. A guy that you know that is not going to go out for a pass, and the Bills don't even have it in their playbook to even have an attempt to make him a receiver, so the defense just keep the defense honest. Yeah. Just throw it to him one time to keep him honest. But every time he's reporting, first of all, they're not even running the ball. Yeah. So we know he's not going out for a pass, so it just doesn't make any sense to even have him in that situation. And it kind of like put a handcuff on your offense.
So where are we, Jared? I mean, what is our level of confidence at this point? I mean, we're 5-5, and for everyone's knowledge, I looked this up. Last time we were 5-5, 2017. So, and they made the playoffs. Now they needed some help. That could potentially happen again this year. If they get to that point at the end of the year to make the playoffs, at this point, they're gonna need some help.
Well, here's the problem. We're losing to some bad teams.
Yeah.
We're not figuring it out. My level of confidence is pretty low. After last week, if we would have came back and played a good game against Denver, I would have said, okay, I think it's time we get on a little bit of a roll. But this is the Denver Broncos here, and it looks like something is shooken within the locker room. I think a lot of the leaders right now aren't even believing what they're saying. I think maybe the gospel of Sean McDermott is kind of coming to an end. So, in my opinion, my confidence is low. I hope I'm wrong, but my confidence.
I was going to say, the quarterback doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
When they lose. He says nothing when they lose, which for me is a problem as well. I mean, you need to be a stand-up pro in those moments, take ownership, and actually have responses to people when they ask them questions in post-game. Let's get your predictions on the game, the Jet game. What do you think? Give me a score.
Well, this is a must-win for the Bills, period, no matter what the cost. I mean, this is a team that beat you, week one, a game that you should have won still. Back is definitely against the wall. If the Bills do not win this game, season is over, because you cannot afford to have 3 divisional wins and then you have not even have a quality win in your conference. So therefore, this is a must win right here. This is a make or break for the Bills. Again, it's at home, a team that beat you already. Zach Wilson is going to come to Buffalo and beat the Bills, not once but twice to sweep the Bills. I find that hard to believe. So I'm going to say Bills get off the schneid here, 31, Jets 18.
Okay, Coach?
Well, new offensive coordinator going against the Jets defense, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
I see the Bills winning 9-6.
9-6. Wow.
Field goal.
And there were
Field goal game.
There were weird scores on Monday night. It was 12-8 and 15-8 at one point.
I might
Tough.
be
The
less
Jets are
confident.
really good.
I might be less confident after a 9-6 win than a loss there.
Jets defense is top notch.
All right, guys, Coach Bob, Muki, great seeing you guys. Thanks a lot. We're going to come back and break down the Bills and Jets, Jared and I, when we return on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I'm Princess Glitterhead. I was in pain like my whole life with my teeth. I want to feel better. Like, what could I do? Like, I could actually go all the way and actually fix myself, be healthy, get rid of all the decay. So I made a free consultation appointment. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get my teeth back. And I could see it helping so many people, including myself. It's gonna change your life. It really does. Wow. Oh my God.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I don't know why I'm so emotional about it.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Listen, Dr. Jared, if the Bills have any possibility of making the postseason, they have to win this Sunday, 4:25 out at Highmark against the Jets. And, of course, it's a air quotes revenge game after losing that opener when Rodgers goes out in the fourth play of the game. But here comes Zach Wilson, who set a record this past week. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to have back-to-back games, 250-plus yards passing, and not one offensive touchdown. Pretty remarkable. So who's the worst coordinator? I mean, not that much against Nate Hackett. He was a Bills guy for a little bit. And it is Zach Wilson. But, man, I mean, their offensive performance has been abysmal to this point.
Yes.
And you got to think that's an advantage for the Bills going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. Right. I mean, we have to.
Oh, we said that when Rodgers went out, right?
In the first game. That was supposed to be too. Yeah, I mean, this is a week where we should have the upper hand offensively, and I mean their defense is really good, but I think we should also have the upper hand defensively since we're playing against Zach Wilson. But we keep saying that, right? We keep saying Mac Jones is kind of a garbage player. Oh, Tyrod Taylor is a journeyman quarterback. Russell Wilson at the end of his career, but we keep losing to these guys. So at this point, we need to find our own identity.
Yeah, for sure. The Jets, I mean, these are insane. They're almost historic numbers. 8 offensive touchdowns in the last 9 games. They don't have a touchdown drive of longer than 1 play since week 4.
Is it 45 straight drives without a touchdown that they?
It might be. I have 36, but you might be right.
No,
Maybe
right.
I wasn't updated. It might be 45. 25% for the season on 3rd down. I mean, these are brutal numbers. Wilson's been sacked 34 times on the year. I mean, their only bright light really is Breece Hall, and he's kind of been up and down for them. So, I mean, what's their what's their go-to offensively, if any? Garrett Wilson, same guy as Breece Hall, right? Stud player, but if you don't have somebody that's studly throwing to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the book is out on Zach Wilson at this point. I don't know why they continue to roll him out there. He doesn't score touchdowns. He's losing confidence every week. The only person who still has confidence on him seems to be Aaron Rodgers. It is really tough to watch the Jets offense, almost as tough as it is right now to watch the Bills offense.
No question about it. Of course, their defense is super strong. 9 picks, 25 sacks. 9 different guys have sacks on the team. My 2 favorite players for the Jets, and we shouldn't ever say we have favorite players of our rivals, but I love Jermaine Johnson and I love Quincy Williams. Those 2 guys for me are my favorite guys on their defense, just because they are just animal athletes who are their engines are just nonstop. Their motors are nonstop. I love those 2.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty good trend for the Jets defense. Is these guys kind of just play 100% every single play. They keep their offense in every game. They're a real kind of trouble to be reckoned with. We thought they were going to be good in week 1, and now we come to week 10 and they're still one of the best defenses in the league.
Whitehead's had a nice year. Of course, he picked off Josh 3 times in that opener.
Yep.
But he's a guy that's just a ball hawk too on that back end. He seems to always be around the football.
Yep. Yeah, he's one of the league leaders in interceptions, and we didn't know if he was going to be the guy doing it, but they have playmakers all over the field defensively.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner and Dean. I mean, they're super good. So I mean, you joked about a 9-6 game, but it could end up being that type of special teams game. Who wins or loses this game based on special teams? The Bills, we still haven't talked about the Bills' special teams against Denver.
Oh.
I mean, so many. Sam Martin was arguably terrible. The coverage teams on Mims, terrible. We know what happened on the punt return in the first game in the meeting between these 2 teams with special teams.
Yes.
So this could come down to a special teams play.
Right. We are kind of the only team who still loses that third phase in almost every game right now. The complementary football isn't there. Zach Martin with a net punt of 15 yesterday. It's great when we punt from our own 25. You're supposed to be able to get it past midfield, but usually the Denver Broncos are starting field position around the 45 yesterday. So yeah, there's pretty much holes all over this football team.
Yeah, 12 men on the field didn't help either defensively on that field goal winner for the Broncos. Okay, let's get a score prediction for you. Bills and Jets, 4:25 Sunday.
I mean, you're right about the Jets defense, and this is probably going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to do a low-score origami here. I think the Bills are going to win 16-12.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
4 field goals from Zerline. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give the Bills. I'll go 23-9. So I think there's going to be 3 field goals for each team.
Okay.
I think the Bills catch a couple of touchdowns, one way or the other. Where I don't know how it's going to come. It's Joe Brady's debut as the interim OC. We'll see. Great job, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much to you for watching. Thanks to Dr. Todd Shatkin, the Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental Health, and of course, get ready for the Bills and the Jets. 4:25 Highmark Stadium, must win for Buffalo going forward. Thanks to the crew, of course, Dr. Jared, thanks to you as well. And again, thanks for watching. Go Bills. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.